there is.
The TV is back.
Yeah. I tell you, man, sometimes I miss seeing that big old TV head.
Yeah. With the wood grain on the side.
With the actual dials on it.
Yep.
I love it. Very retro.
Yeah. I would love to figure out how to change the screen, and I'd like to just put my channel on it.
That would be so cool. If you could actually get that to happen, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I know I can do like a green screen, but so it's like if I could figure out how to edit like green screen and like do those effects, I could probably like do like for like the end of the video, like I could just put like everyone's channels and socials on my TV screen.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Like I said, there's so much cool stuff you could do with that. But yeah, I mean, have to figure it out eventually.
Yep.
All right, man. So, you want to get into it, or what? Just get going.
Yeah, we might as well.
Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, this is Nerds of the Round Table. We are back. I am Antonio Padilla. With me, well, not always, but most of the time, Swagtastic. Swag, say what's up.
Hello.
There he is. The big TV head himself. There he is. Cliff is not with us again for the second week in a row, but it's all good. It's all good. He's got Red Dog stuff to be doing. Also, I wanted to throw a shout out to our boy Cliff because he got the W last week on his match. So
Nice.
very proud of him. Very proud of him. Very cool. Very good stuff, man. He's been working his butt off, so it's good to see that he got the win, and I know he was really excited about that. So I wanted to give a shout out to him. Cliff, we love you. We're proud of you. Can't wait for you to get back on the show. So, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. We got some news. We got a lot of TV to talk about this week, like we talked about in the weeks leading up to this week. Everything came back this week, so we're going to have a lot of that stuff to talk about, as well as a new TV show as well. So we're going to get to that later. Let's do the news. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I was really hoping Cliff would be here for this so that he could talk about it. The teaser trailer for season 3 of Doom Patrol, and I am very excited about this. As you all know, me and Cliff love favorite superhero TV show. We've gushed about it over and over and over and over again, and just super excited that like we've known for a while, season 3 was coming, and it's just that thing, like we're waiting, especially after season 2 was cut short because of the terribleness.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing this trailer, I'm really excited because there's stuff in here I was not expecting to see. Chief among them being Monsieur Mala and the Brain, which is dope. Although we did get the Brain teased in season 1, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, to see them both in this trailer is pretty cool. Although, we see them briefly in this trailer. Either way, very, very, very cool. The one thing that is just a little concerning is I didn't see the Chief anywhere in this trailer. So I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm definitely going to be tuning in to see what happens. Yeah, can't wait. I can't wait, man. The cast, again, the cast is phenomenal. Season 1 and 2 were amazing. Yeah, can't wait to see what happens. It looks like everyone's coming back, including Willoughby. So that's gonna be fun. Swag, I know you started season 1 and you haven't gotten caught
Yeah,
up.
I was gonna say we need to finish that so I can get caught up.
But yeah, man, like season 3 is looking to be pretty awesome. So I don't know if you saw the trailer or not.
No, I did not. But I should get around to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and
Oh,
hopefully catch up before the season comes out so I can talk about it with you guys.
right. And that being said, season 3 of Doom Patrol premieres September 23rd on HBO Max. So
Plenty of time.
plenty of time. But yeah, it looks great. So hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you've seen the trailer, let's know what you think of it, and are you excited? I bet you are, especially if you're. All right, let's get into the news. We got some casting news today, Swag. We got, I think it's all casting news now that I'm looking at it. Well, let's start with the one that everybody is excited about, including this gentleman. Last weekend, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, we are recording on Friday, August 13th, 2021. That's right, Friday the 13th. So, but last week was the premiere for The Suicide Squad, and if you saw our last episode, Swag and I talked about that pretty in depth. Now, why am I bringing that up? Well, because, and if I'm not mistaken, this was the same weekend. It might have been Sunday or maybe it was Monday. I'm not exactly sure when this broke, but either way, the news broke. I found out from the man himself on his Instagram page, and then it was later confirmed everywhere else. But the Suicide Squad star Idris Elba is playing Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and that's pretty dope. I mean, for a while, this character was going to be in the sequel, but there was no news on who was voicing the character or what. And then this came out, and I'm super excited about this. And again, I know Idris is excited. Like he's been talking about it nonstop since the announcement was made. And I get it, man. I'd be talking about it as well. But yeah, I'm all for this. Swag, what do you think?
Yeah, this is especially I've been a fan of Idris Elba for a while, and getting to see him as Bloodsport and loving that performance and that character, but also having seen the first Sonic movie and now with the hype of the second one and hearing that he's gonna play Knuckles now, right after seeing the Suicide Squad, that is awesome, and that gets my hype levels way up there. So yeah, I'm excited for sure.
I agree 100%. Yeah, he's one of these guys that he's one of those actors that we say about Oscar Isaac. I'm sorry, my brain is everywhere. We talk about Oscar Isaac. It's put that guy in everything. I feel the same way about Idris Elba. It's the more stuff you put that guy in, I'm happy. He's such a great actor. He's such a great performer, and yeah, just this is great. The second the announcement came out, I could not help but hear his voice coming out, and it put a smile on my face. So yeah, I'm real hyped, real excited about this. Do you have any other thoughts, Swag?
No, not really. Just can't wait to hear his voice as the character in hopefully a trailer.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think of this bit of casting news, and yeah, we'll keep you guys updated the more we find out. So there it is. Let's get into the rest of the news. This is a piece of casting news, and the reporting on this bothered me a little bit, and you'll find out why when we get into this. But this is a follow-up to a story we have been keeping up with, if you've been paying attention to the show. So we recently talked about how Tim Burton is doing an Addams Family live action television series over at Netflix. It's going to be centered around Wednesday Addams. It is titled Wednesday, and we did report on the casting of Wednesday Addams a couple months ago. Young actress Jenna Ortega is playing Wednesday Addams, and we raved about that and whatnot. But this is very cool because now we have our Morticia and our Gomez, and both of them have me very, like, it's that thing where it's like, again, put a gun to my head and I would have never into either of these two. And then when I read this, I was like, that makes so much sense. Why didn't I think of that? So to not keep you guys waiting any longer, Catherine Zeta-Jones has been cast as Morticia Addams, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
This is the part that has me a little upset about the reporting on this story, because all the headlines are Catherine Zeta-Jones playing Morticia Addams, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and that's great. I get why you do that. She's awesome, and you want to lead with that, yes. But it's buried in the article that actor Luis Guzman has been cast as Gomez, and that news honestly got me more excited than just because, look, Luis Guzman, phenomenal actor, criminally underrated actor. And again, it's that thing where, like, I'm very aware of him as an actor. He's been in a lot of my favorite movies and TV shows. And, and like I said, when I read that he was playing Gomez, I was like, that makes so much sense. Like, he's such a talented actor. And, and yeah, it just kind of bothered me that, again, like, that part of the casting news is buried so deep in these articles. And that doesn't sit right with. I mean, again, look, it's no one involved with the show is responsible. It's like I said, it's all the reporting that's going on, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, no, look, I'm super hyped for all of this. I love Catherine Zeta-Jones. I love Luis Guzman. I love it, man. I'm all for this casting, and I cannot wait. Look, this has me so excited to see what the final product is going to be like. So keep it up over there. Like, you guys are doing God's work over there. So again, this is something I was hoping Cliff would be here to talk with me about, because again, like, Swag, I know you're not super into family. You don't know a whole lot about it. But that being said, how does this strike you? Does this do anything for you? Does this make you maybe want to check out the show once it drops?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, especially Luis, because I have seen him in things before, and it's that thing where, like, him playing Gomez. It's like, why not, right?
Yeah.
So it's got me pretty excited to see, his performance as the character, and see, like, how that's gonna, that's gonna play out on screen, and that's gonna be fun. And, like, also just, since they're gonna be playing a family, like, this, it's gonna be great to see how they all work off of each other and how their, performances mesh together. Like, it's gonna be pretty interesting. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this.
Yeah, interesting is definitely how I would describe it all.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And again, like, I love Luis Guzman. He's such a great actor. And like, just thinking about, like, listening to you talk about, it's like, yeah, it is going to be like the chemistry between all the actors, and especially, like, if you know anything about Gomez, like, how romantic he is, and how endlessly in love he and Morticia are. I can already see it in my head, and I can hear him lines. I'm there, man. They already got me. They got me. So I don't need to hype this up anymore. But yeah, I'm excited. So yes, once again, very excited about this. I approve, being a hardcore Addams family fan, and yeah, man, it's phenomenal. I love it. You love to see it. I love to see it. So. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, casting news. Catherine Zeta-Jones is playing Morticia Addams. Luis Guzman is playing Gomez. This is going to be fantastic. Again, this is all dropping on Netflix. No release date yet, but again, they're still casting, so they haven't even begun shooting yet. So we'll keep you guys up to date. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about this casting. And yeah, there's the casting news. Now we have one final bit of casting. I'm not even sure if this counts as casting, more like uncasting news. This is once again a follow-up to a story that we've been keeping an eye on, and we've been keeping you guys informed of as best we can. But this news broke this week. If I'm not mistaken, it was either yesterday on Thursday or it was Wednesday. I don't remember. Wednesday. But the news broke very recently. So if you'll remember, we've been keeping you guys up to date on the live-action Powerpuff Girls series that's set up shop over at the CW. And they announced the cast, and amongst the cast was Chloe Bennett. Most people know her from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was cast as Blossom, and they already shot the pilot. And there's a bit of news that we didn't report on. Again, I don't know why. It must have just gotten lost in the shuffle somewhere, so we'll put it here. So apparently they shot the pilot. The network wasn't happy with it, so they were going to retool it, rewrite it, go back and reshoot it. Stuff like that happens all the time. The original Power Rangers pilot had to be retooled. The original Heroes pilot had to be tooled, and those TV shows went on to be wildly successful. It happens all the time. Although people were immediately like, "Oh no, the show's in trouble." It's like this happens all the time. People odds are one of your favorite TV shows had this happen to them. So to me, that was no sign of trouble. It's just this stuff happens. Even Smallville had this happen. There is an unreleased pilot for Smallville, and that show ran for 10 years. So. Yeah, no. So that didn't bother me at all. Now here's where everything gets interesting, because like I said, Chloe Bennett cast as Blossom, but now we got word that she's leaving. I'm looking, and it doesn't look like there's any reason given for her to. Here we go. So I'm reading from an article on Variety. And it says, according to an individual with knowledge, Warner Brothers Television wanted to extend Bennett's option as they reworked the pilot, but scheduling conflicts forced her to exit instead. Casting for a new lead will begin in the fall. Okay. That makes sense. Again, stuff like that happens all the time. I guarantee you they were supposed to be shooting this summer, and then they would premiere the show in the fall. But because they have to rework the pilot, obviously she can't commit, which is too bad. So, it doesn't seem like there's any bad blood between her and the studio. It just seems, again, according to this article, and who knows how much of this is to be trusted or believed, but it appears that it is just scheduling conflicts. And again, this happens all the time. So. But yeah, Swag, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this update?
It does definitely suck a little bit, but it again, it is that thing where it's at least it wasn't, anything really bad.
Yeah.
At least as far as we're aware, wasn't anything bad. And again, scheduling, yeah, it does happen a lot. especially like it just they have projects that they get attached to, then there are things that happen, and sometimes they have to let go of one to work on the other. So it happens. It's unfortunate, but uh, again, like you said, like it doesn't mean like that the show will end up being bad.
Yeah.
So I still have high hopes that the show will be good, and that we'll get we'll get the Powerpuff Girls show that we've been wanting for a while since they've announced it. So yeah, I'm still interested and very excited to see the show when it does eventually, air.
Yes, I agree. I agree 100%. This has not deterred my excitement for the show. I'm still very much looking forward to it. Although I'm looking at this article, apparently they did cast a couple characters that we didn't know about.
Huh.
So I'm looking at this Nicholas Podani. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Playing Mojo Jojo.
Hey, we finally got our Mojo Jojo.
So that's cool. Actress Robin Lively as Sarah Bellum, Miss Bellum.
Nice.
Which still, yeah, no mention of the mayor.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up because I was like, I wasn't even aware they had cast those parts. So
yeah.
that's pretty cool. No, look, I'm still really excited for the show. I'm going to be looking forward to it. I still am. Again, these things happen, and there's not much we can do. Although I'm gonna put this out here on the show, swag, because I tweeted about it the moment this happened. Greg Berlanti, you're the showrunner. You're the genius over there who's bringing. I'm pretty sure he's responsible for like 90% of the programming over on the CW.
Yeah.
So I'm pleading. I am trying to appeal to you, Mr. Berlanti. Everyone knows you've got my money. I mean, just look at this shelf right here. I've got every one of your superhero television shows right here. So, as a as a loyal customer and viewer, I would like to humbly submit for your consideration for the role of Blossom in the Powerpuff Girls live action TV series, the one and only Miss Savannah Meyer. Headshot right here on screen. Greg, she is a talented actress. She is an actress. She has an IMDb page. She is SAG certified, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And yeah, she's very talented, very phenomenal. I can provide video, a reel for you if you would like. So yeah, just for your consideration. I'm going to put that out here on the show. So
let's do it. Let's get this. Come on.
Work
hard, people. We can do this.
All right, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's again, it happens all the time. So, all right, that's casting news. That's the news. Before we get into TV time, but before we get into that, swag, do you wanna update us on what's going on over in the gaming world?
Yeah. So, I do want to get the small stuff out of the way because there was one other thing that I would like to mention. So we'll catch you guys up with what's been happening on Fortnite. That's some more pretty cool crossover stuff. We've got we had revealed to us after the barrage of other crossovers that Gamora will also be coming to Fortnite. And with that, we've also found out that, because before, and I mentioned this to you, Antonio, and we both were like really confused. We found out that Star-Lord was going to be returning to the shop, and we didn't have any clue as to why. Now we do know why. So Star-Lord and the dance-off emote, which I didn't even know was a thing, is coming back alongside Gamora on the 18th of August. So yeah, you have that to look forward to. And we also have our Free Guy crossover. So now we have 2 Ryan Reynolds skins in the game.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
The more, the better, I think.
Yes, agreed. Now you guys can, if you have a friend who has the Deadpool skin, or if you have the Deadpool skin and somebody doesn't have it, you and a friend can now jump into a duos game and be a team of Ryan Reynolds.
Who doesn't want to do that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty exciting stuff. The dude skin, which is what the Free Guys, that's what it's called. It's in the shop currently, and it is Friday. Yeah, we already said the date, so it's Friday the 13th. So hopefully it's still up when this episode comes out, so you guys can go grab it. If not, I apologize for being late on this.
Yes.
But with that said, I would like to talk about Avengers the Game, and
Feel free.
if you guys have been with us since the game was in beta phase, you know that I didn't have a very good experience with the game, and I wasn't gonna buy the game. I was left pretty underwhelmed, to say the least, by the game. Recently they did have a free weekend, and I played it on the last day it was available because I got busy, and I did not expect things to happen that did happen when I did play it. So I just put it off to the last minute. And boy, do I regret that, because the game is actually a lot better now.
Yeah.
So I would like to say, if you have been looking for something to play, and you're kind of in a dry spell right now, which I am, and that could be the reason why I found the game so fun, is just because there hasn't really been a whole lot to play lately. If it's on sale, and I do mean it, if it's on sale, go check it out. Or if you're willing to go and pay the full price, go ahead. I do recommend buying it on sale, just in case it's not for you, or waiting till there's another free weekend and trying it then. But I did enjoy the game during that weekend. And if you were like me and you wanted to play Captain America, but you were kind of worried about having to play through the entire story mode to get him, that is no longer the case. They have skipped that story. When you log into the game now as a new player, you will jump right in where the story is at currently. And where the story is at currently is going to change on Tuesday. So as you're listening to this episode, hopefully when it comes out, that means tomorrow, Black Panther will be arriving in the game. So yeah. Yeah. Finally, where's Spider-Man?
Yeah. Still waiting.
Still waiting.
No, I mean, like, to be real, like, I saw those Black Panther, the suits.
Yeah.
Those are all pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
I like the ones they went with, like, because how many of them are there? Do you know?
I know I saw.
There's quite a few of them. Like,
Yeah.
I was surprised at how many there were.
Yeah. And I
but
think that's. I
do
think
want.
yeah, I think that was because they wanted to give Black Panther like a lot of variety, so that way it's like, because like games have this problem where, and I've experienced it, where it's like other characters have this armory of skins and stuff to choose from, and then the new character just has this little tiny So I think it's good that they just packed in a bunch of cool designs for Black Panther.
Yeah, no, I think so too, man. Like I said, I really like what they did
Yeah,
design wise, aesthetically. Like I haven't seen one that I didn't think looked awesome. So
yeah. I love the I love like the I don't know like the studs kind of on the default design, like on the shoulders and stuff. That looked really cool.
yeah, I thought that was really cool too. So
Yeah. So yeah, like, and I do want to give credit, like, aside from like, and I think like that was probably where a lot of this came from. Like, aside from like those like Captain America's default, like, it's kind of they've kind of gotten really good at like designing new suits for the characters. Uh, like very cool, really unique, and also just they've also like gotten to that point with like, okay, let's make things colorful. Because I was looking through the skins for everybody, like even Captain America, all the really recent ones, like even like the high tier ones, are really colorful and like really bright and like stand out. So I was glad to see that.
yeah, yeah, same. Like I've noticed a lot of like really colorful stuff coming out.
Yeah,
Hey man, I'm all for it, man. So yeah, good job, man. It seems like they like yeah, like we kind of we all kind of was like, oh man, the launch of this game seems like a giant misfire. But I mean, you can always turn it around. Like that's the great thing about gaming nowadays is that, if your game doesn't work upon launch, I mean, you can always save it, however long after the fact. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah, good for them.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like yeah, like I said, just if you're looking for something, go check it out. I recommend it because I was blown away at how different the experience was from when I tried it way back when.
Yeah, yep, sounds good, man. All right. Anything else games wise?
Nope, that's it.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You heard him. You heard the man. Yeah, let us know what you think. If you have tried it recently, or even if have been playing it since day one, let us know what your experience has been like. So, there it is. Okay, swag. Let's get to it. Let's get into TV time because boy, do we have a lot.
A lot of TV.
Yes, a lot of TV. Whew, TV time with a vengeance. As I've been referring to it.
Yep.
Let's start. We're gonna do this in the order in which everything came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna start. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know what we're gonna be talking, we're talking about Superman and Lois came back. Final two episodes. Stargirl season 2 has premiered. Marvel's What If animated series, and the first 3 episodes of Titans season 3, which dropped all at the same time. So we're going to be covering all of that. So if you haven't seen any of either of those, if you've seen one but maybe not the others, maybe get out of here and then come back up. However, if you have seen them, we are going to talk spoilers. So there it is. All right, swag. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Superman and Lois, season 1, episode 14, The Eradicator. I'm going to say it up top. This episode was one of the most intense things I've seen all year.
Yep.
The last maybe 20 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was.
the ending of this episode legitimately so many emotions. Yeah, man, I was not expecting what happened to happen. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So this episode, swag. What were some of your favorite moments? What stood out to you the most, and what do you think of the episode overall? And you can go ahead and talk.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think. Oh man. Like yeah, this episode was. It was so packed with good stuff. it's so hard to like I don't even know if this is like my like favorite moment, but like it's definitely one of them. Like I liked the the moment when it kind of seems like it's gonna like things are gonna repeat itself on this earth when Lois is up on the roof reporting on everything that's going on, and and like it's like come on, like somebody's got to do something, and seeing that it was John who did it, right? Henry, like he freaking did it, and he made sure that it wasn't gonna happen again. And I remember too, I was like, come on, man. He threw the hammer, and I was like, come on, headshot. And sure enough, it was a headshot.
Yeah,
That was so awesome.
yeah, that was a great moment. And yeah, like, just like you were saying, man, like it was, that was scary too. Like that was
Yeah,
too.
intense.
Yeah, because like you said, like because like even the moment when Lois, she runs and gets to top, it's like, oh, come on, like because
Yeah,
exactly where they're headed with it. And the moment you see Leslie, kind of because she echoes what evil Superman did on John Henry's Earth, and it's like, oh no, like, oh, this is not good.
yeah,
It was scary, it was intense, and yeah,
yeah,
I loved that it was John Henry that saved Lois, because it was
yeah,
kind of him getting closure for not being able to save Lois on his, like, that's, I love that kind of stuff, man. That kind of uh, I don't want to say symmetrical, but it's yeah, I guess symmetrical storytelling, because
yeah,
he couldn't save his Lois, but he can save this Lois, and I like that. So that's, yeah,
yeah.
that was a great moment in the episode for sure.
Yeah. And like to be like, it's like we were all on edge because it's like we could see it like happening, like everything falling into place again, and like it's gonna happen. But like we were kind of in that moment in like the same situation as the boys. Like they were like legitimate, and like even Jonathan was so like he's like he could see it like us, like he knows it's gonna happen, but he's hoping that it's not gonna. And so we were kind of in his shoes in that moment, and that was kind of cool, but and a little worrying at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's yeah. Oh man, you're so right. Yeah, I really thought about it that way. It's like, yeah, in that moment we were Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, no, good call, man. Good call. But yeah, no, that was great. The whole episode, at least to me anyway, it felt like it was the whole episode it starts out kind of somber, and the whole thing kind of builds and builds and builds until we get to the end of the episode. And like that, because it starts out pretty simple enough, like the stuff with Lana and Kyle and them not knowing whether or not they're going to stay in Smallville, and like
Yeah.
that means for Jordan and Sarah, and all that stuff. But then for me, I think the episode really picks up in terms of like building up the tension of the episode when like Clark and Lois and General Lane, they're at the town hall, and you see just how angry and upset the people of Smallville are,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, like, yeah, like this is not good, like
Yeah.
it's like, because like people are angry and upset, and rightfully so. I'm not saying it's they shouldn't be,
Yeah.
but it's just that kind of tension, is it's scary, especially in a small town like that. Having grown up in a small town, very,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of tension and dare I say it, unrest in a small town like that, very scary. It's not, it's not. I think in a lot of ways, the show as a whole, this whole show, Superman and Lois, has hit really close to home. And I know Cliff and I, and even you, have spoken about it, multiple times in the past when we talk about the show, how it's
Yeah.
a very accurate depiction of like a small town, a small farm town in the Midwest. with one or
Yeah.
like I said, like we always crap on like their use of rideshare services because that doesn't exist in small town. It doesn't. It doesn't. But
Yeah.
it's like this show is very a very accurate depiction of small Midwest farm towns, and it's yeah, like it to the end, all the way to episode 14 of season 1. It's like yeah, they've really nailed that aspect of the show, and so bravo. So
Yeah. Yeah. And like that's the thing. Like again, like yeah, like it just feels like it's so accurate. Like it just feels like home. Like exactly like what it's like being there. And so like seeing them like accurately depict so like that kind of living and like town, like it's crazy. And again, like like they got that one the one thing. It's like yeah, we don't have that kind of thing here. It's
no, we don't.
way too small for that kind of thing.
They would not. Yeah, like they would not put their in a small town. So yeah. But yeah, so man, we didn't even talk about. We haven't gotten to the ending yet.
The ending, yeah.
That was the part of the episode that like really tore me apart. Because again, like I did not see this coming at all, and I should have. I should have connected these dots, and I didn't. Oh, actually, before we get to the end, I want to give a shout out to Adam Rayner, who's the actor who plays Morgan Edge / Talro / the Eradicator. For this episode specifically, like he's been killing it the whole show, but this episode, because he didn't have any dialogue this episode, did he?
No, I mean yeah, like just like at the ending, I'm pretty sure like that was the last time.
Like one line of dialogue the whole episode.
Yeah.
He managed to play the Eradicator because that's who he is now. The Eradicator completely without dialogue. Just it was all in his his performance, his physical performance. It was all in his presence, and like he was scary. He was genuinely terrifying as the Eradicator.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, props to you, man. Like I think out of everyone on the show so far, anyways, he has been able to play the most sides of one character. Because I mean, look, when you really break it down, he's kind of playing 3 different characters on the show.
Yeah.
So like, there's Morgan Edge, and obviously that was just his disguise on Earth. And then there's Talro, who is he's like Superman's jaded half brother. And then now to be the Eradicator, who is like completely devoid of all like emotion, and again, like he did this whole episode pretty much with no dialogue. Yeah. I'm really impressed with his performance this season. Like he's doing good work over there. I mean, everybody on the show is, but like specifically, like I said, he's really gotten to bring the most dimensionality to for just being one man.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. So yeah, I just want to give him a shout out. So, but yeah, Swag. Let's talk about the ending to this episode. Before Cliff is not here, he did send me his thoughts and reactions, which I will read. But I don't want to read anything that he said until we talk about everything. So yeah, man, the ending. Do you want to do this, or should I?
I think because you could probably give a better detailed breakdown than I could.
Right. Okay. So the whole episode. Look, honestly, to me, the moment I think my heart dropped was the moment they were all leading. The episode was leading up to for these 2 characters, right? So earlier in the episode, you see Jordan and Sarah. Like they finally decided they're going to be together. They're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. You even see them kiss this episode. It was very cute. And then when Lana and Kyle, they're like, "Oh, we're moving, right?" And you see Sarah react to that, and you know, she goes to see Jordan, and they start talking. You know, it's like, "Hey, we can make this work," and she's like, "Can we?" And you know, it's that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And the moment the Eradicator shows up, right, and he takes Jordan, the moment Jordan like looks at Sarah and says, "I love you," and they're gone. That was the moment where I'm getting emotional right now just thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a little choked up right there. That was the moment where I was immediately just like, no, like this can't happen. This cannot happen. You know, I started going through the 5 stages already where I'm like, I was already like grieving, and like I had already like jumped over to like bargaining where I was like, no, like anybody else but Jordan, anybody else, you know.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's like, yeah, it's like, why didn't I see this coming? It's like, yeah, Jordan is the perfect choice, you know, and the Eradicator would know that.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I? But also, it was okay. So the Eradicator takes Jordan, right, and Jonathan gets the I forget what the ELT, whatever that thing is. Call.
Yeah.
Superman shows up, and he's like, he took Jordan. You got to go find him. You got to, and he just takes off, right? And he can't find him. He goes back to Lois. At that moment between Superman and Lois, that again, I'm gonna get emotional. That was the moment
Yeah.
when the Eradicator took Jordan. That was when my heart sank. The moment Superman and Lois are there, holding each other and crying, like that was the moment that broke me.
Yeah.
And again, I'm trying not to get emotional just talking about it, but it's hard because like that was heartbreaking. It was yeah, just and even just thinking about it and trying to talk about it right now, it's like I can't. I can't. I'm handing it over to you to sweat.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was definitely the moment where like you kind of it just sinks in and you just start to feel like the emotion and like the pain and, like even from both of them. And like yeah, like I was even heartbroken at that point. And then, you know, we we get to the point where the Eradicator does his thing to Jordan,
Yeah.
and it the whole time, you know, you're sitting there and you're watching it. It's like it, you know, like it can't, like right, like he can make it, right? He can push, but he doesn't, and you know, and that's it. We that's the end of the episode, and that's when like we just sit there and just sit with those emotions and think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was man that episode. The ending, man. It just
Yeah,
it
it
made
was.
me think about how you remember the pilot episode. The way the pilot episode ends is like, you know, when we saw the pilot, the way that episode ends is like very happy and hopeful. It's the bringing together of the family in Smallville, and it's a very like happy, hopeful ending. And then
Yeah.
we're one episode away from the finale, and it's like the exact opposite. It all hope has been lost, and this family has been pulled apart. You know, it's like, geez,
Yeah.
I did not expect to be feeling this. You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna give this episode a 10 out of 10, just because I feel like it accomplished everything it set out to do.
Yeah. Agreed.
Did it all like flawlessly. I had no complaints about this episode whatsoever. What about you, Swag?
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for me as well. Because like it's that thing I've said before. Like if it can, you know, if it can give you like make you feel emotions, and not even just like sad, but like even like the tension, the anxious feeling of like, oh man, what's gonna happen? Like the build up and all, like that's great. Like it did things right, and it made you feel things. So yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now all they have to do is stick the landing with the finale.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so we'll see. All right, so before we move on, these are Cliff's thoughts. Shockingly, this was the one he had the least to say about this week. So he texted me his thoughts on everything this week. So this is what he said about Superman Lois. Loved the pacing of the episode. Tal-Rho bringing his father back in Jordan's body pulled at my heartstrings. 9.25 out of 10. So
Wow.
that's for Cliff fans. Like I was saying to Swag, like I was shocked that the thing he had the most to say about this week was Stargirl.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, there it is. We gave our thoughts and our opinions on this week's episode of Superman and Lois, season 1, episode 14, The Eradicator. If you're watching it, let us know what you thought of this episode. And all right, Swag, let's talk about Stargirl, the return of Stargirl, season 2, Summer School.
Yeah.
Which that was dope, right? The title screen, Stargirl, Summer School. That was cool. I was not expecting to see that. Cool, very cool. I enjoyed this episode, although I feel like Cliff and I had different opinions on this episode. Like I said, he had the most to say about Stargirl, and he just gushed about it, which I wasn't expecting. But welcome surprise. Like I said, not because I didn't enjoy this. I really enjoyed this episode, but to me, this episode felt like it was a lot of setting up what the plot to season 2 is. And again, that's not bad. I enjoyed it. I liked catching up with everyone again. Like that was really dope. I love that like Courtney is way too obsessed with like being a superhero, right? To the point that it's the rest of her teammates. I like that, and I like this thing that they're doing with Rick. Like I don't know why he's looking for Grundy, if he feels bad or if he genuinely just wants a round 2. I don't know. But I'm interested to see where that goes. Me and Cliff do agree on this. I found myself really heartbroken for Yolanda dealing with the lasting repercussions of what happened with her in season 1, but also Beth. Like that the story with Beth really makes me just, it makes me like so sad for her, like because she's like we talked about in season 1, she's like the most happy and upbeat person in the world. And even though like she acknowledges she doesn't have any friends until she joins up with Courtney and everybody. And like that's kind of what made it so heartbreaking about what happened to Chuck at the end of season 1. But then here in season 2, like like she finds out her parents are getting divorced, and it's like that was really heartbreaking, because it's like Beth is just like, she just wants to make everyone happy, and it doesn't seem like she ever gets a chance to be happy, and it's like I feel so bad for her. And yeah, man, this episode had a lot going on in terms of like catching back up with these characters and finding out where they are and where they might go. Like this again. I really enjoyed this episode, but to me, and it's not even really a complaint. It's just like, yeah, this episode felt like it was doing a lot of catching up and setting up, if that makes sense. But no, I still really enjoyed it, man. I love the chemistry with the cast, all the cast. I love seeing Luke Wilson again.
Yeah.
This is almost right after Loki ended, and Owen Wilson was a big part of that show, so that's pretty cool. I know I said it already, like when Owen Wilson was first cast in Loki, but it's like I love that there's a Wilson brother in both universes. Pretty cool.
That's great.
That's very cool. I love that. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this episode, but I think, again, like, obviously going to talk about certain things later, but I would probably give this episode an 8 out of 10. Again, just because to me, it felt like there was just a lot of catching up and a lot of setting up. There were a lot of really great moments that I really, really loved. I loved the thing with Zeke, the mechanic, how he kind of found out about, right? But he's like, look, I don't want to know what you got this for. Sometimes a man just needs a giant robot. And he's like, I built the flamethrower. Probably fit in his hand. Let me go get it for you. It's like, and Pat's just like,
So don't worry, Dugan. I'll go get my tools. I'll be right back.
yeah. It's like, and he's like, oh, okay then. I love that moment, and I love, again, like I've made it no secret that I love Luke Wilson. I think the way he plays characters, specifically Pat Dugan, he's so earnest that it's super endearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a great return to the show, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. Swag, what did you think of this episode? What were your favorite moments and just overall thoughts?
Yeah, I do I do agree. Like it did feel a little like it was a little. I don't want to say boring because it definitely wasn't boring.
Mm-mm.
Because it still kept my interest and kept my attention, but it was still, I guess, kind of slow. I don't know how to say it, but you've described it.
I get what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
like I was saying, like I enjoyed the episode, but like again, like it just felt like it was setting up a lot.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't even an action sequence in this,
Yeah. Aside from the one,
except for the one at the
but
end.
yeah, yeah,
That was it.
yeah.
And again, like that's not a bad thing. It's just
No.
it just felt like I was saying, it just felt like there was a lot of setting up.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, yeah, like I didn't really kind of figure it out until you mentioned it. It's like, yeah, no, when you talk about it, it's like, yeah, no, there was a lot of setting up and not a whole lot of action.
Yeah.
And again, like it was that was fine, like because we still got like, again, like the stories with Beth and Yolanda and like kind of seeing, like, especially with like you said, like Yolanda, like seeing what that whole thing did to her, what she's still carrying around with her, and how she's trying to deal with it, and you kind of feel you feel bad for her, and like like I'm kind of understanding like where she's at, and like how tough it must be not being able to really talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was definitely. I like that, and even like again like Beth, like all of her stuff, like I just felt I felt really bad for her, and again like yeah, it's like that thing where she just wants to help, and it's like all like this bad thing, that's all these things that are happening to her. It's like, come on, man, not her. Like she's too nice. Like why do you have to choose her to do all this stuff to her?
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you just feel bad, and it's like, come on, like give her a break. Like
yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, and yeah, and like the whole thing just with Pat.
Yeah.
Like he just wanted to go on vacation.
Vacation with his family. Yeah.
He's done with it. Like they did the big thing. He just wants to relax with his family, have a good time. But no.
And he can't even have that. Like
no.
Come on. Yeah, I felt bad for him. I felt bad for Barbara as well, because she's on this vacation, and then Courtney had to go and mess it up.
Yeah.
Not intentionally, but she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this episode was really great. One thing I want to mention before I forget, the opening to this episode, because there was a moment where I was like, am I watching the right show? Did I put the on? Like, what's going on here? I was like, what is this horror show that I'm watching? I thought I was watching Stargirl.
Yeah.
I was legitimately like, is this the right thing? It messed me up for a while there, but yeah, no. I really enjoyed that because it did like throw you off, like because you're like, what is this? What's going on here? And it's not until you see the mailbox that you're, oh, that was Dr. Midnight's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was messed up. But yeah, no, that opening was pretty insane. Yeah, no, I thought this episode had a lot of really great stuff going on. I really liked it. Again, like it just doesn't rate higher for me because it just felt like it felt like there was a lot of setting up that they were doing, and that's not. But it's just, moving along a little bit faster. That's all.
Yeah. And I do want to say one thing, like about like it brings up a really good because like when like the stuff started to happen to each of, well, maybe not each of the characters, but like to Courtney and like about like school, it's like, oh yeah, that would have been a problem. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna read Cliff's thoughts on this real quick because I think
he has a lot. Yeah.
So what Cliff said was, and I'm reading his words verbatim. I have not changed anything. So he said, "Welcome back to Nebraska. Loved seeing Cameron back to memorialize his dad. Grandparents are still dicks. Yeah, the evil grandparents I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about them until they showed up, but yeah, was not pleased to see them still hanging around. He said, I'm really drawn to Yolanda again and feel really bad for her. Yeah, I think we agree. You can tell how much that fight took out of her and emotionally haunts her. Yeah, for sure. Whole episode is so cool with continuing the stories and repercussions. Yeah, I thought that was a great touch. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, that thing happened and now we're just moving on. It's like, I like that there were long-lasting consequences for that. Cliff also says, my heart hurts for Beth when she saw the divorce papers and then Chuck leaving her. Yeah, that was pretty tough.
Yeah.
That was hard for everybody. This episode is tough, but I'm really excited with Starman in my favorite car. Yeah, we didn't even talk about Starman.
Yeah.
That won me over, LOL. 9.75 out of 10. So that's almost a perfect score from Cliff. Yeah, we didn't talk about Starman. Starman, because of the cliffhanger in season 1, like, yeah, he showed up again. So, all right, Swag, help me out here, because I was thinking about this. He stops at a diner, right? Talks to a waitress. And so we remember at the end of season 1, the stinger, he's like, I'm looking for Pat Dugan, right? Like, obviously he's looking for Pat.
Yeah.
He stopped at this diner and he talks to this waitress. He's like, you can tell me where your ex-husband is or whatever. And she's like, which one? Are we to assume that this is Mike's mother?
Yeah.
Because they've never said what happened to Mike's mom, right? Mike doesn't even talk about his mom.
Yeah.
Is this waitress his mom? And again, like, it got me thinking, because that one exchange, he's like, I'm looking for your ex-husband, and she says, which one? And you'll remember, I was like, geez, how many times has this woman been married?
Yeah.
Then that would be Mike's mom, and why Pat has custody of Mike. Like, if she has the habit of like hanging around with bad people, and Pat clearly doesn't want his son in danger, right? Like, obviously, custody of his son, and maybe that's why Mike doesn't talk about his mom, is because he knows she's not the greatest person in the world. So yeah, I was just thinking, and again, like, just thinking about it set off all these thoughts and ideas, and I was like, that might be Mike's mom. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, what do you think, man? Do you think that's his mom? Do you think that's what's going on there?
Yeah. I mean, now that you've given me all this like evidence to support that. I mean, like, yeah, that's probably. It'll be
Yeah,
interesting to find out for sure.
definitely. Yeah, because it didn't even. That's the dumb thing about it, is like, because it's like, yeah, like Pat has a son, Mike, but it didn't even occur to me like, oh yeah, he would have had to have been married previously, right?
Yeah.
That didn't even occur to me. I was like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know why that didn't. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, thing that I thought about in retrospect. I was like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Cliff gave it a 9.7, 7.75 out of 10. Like I said, I gave it an 8. Did you rate it yet, Swag? What?
Oh no. Yeah, that's a pretty tough one. Yeah, I think just a 9. Like I'll sit right in between you two.
That's hey, that's cool, man. That's all
Yeah.
good.
And again, like that just goes to show, like we didn't hate it. Just could have
I'm
been a
not.
little bit.
I
Could
like.
have done little things. Yeah.
Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about the fight scene.
Oh yeah, we mentioned it, but we didn't even actually talk about it.
The Jade, uh,
Yeah.
Alan Scott's daughter, the Green Lantern, which was cool. Again, like they were hinting at that pretty. Like you saw the lantern like light up.
Yeah.
Although I honestly didn't expect to have her show up in the first episode. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that has me most excited for the next episode. So because I really want to see, I want to see how far they go with her and her story. Like, are we actually going to get to see her dad like in a flashback or something? Like that would be cool. We got
Yeah.
to use the ring, which was
Yeah.
awesome.
That was cool.
So yeah, I am legitimately just excited to see, like I said, I'm excited to see how far they go with that, or how far they're allowed to go with that. You know, because again,
Yeah.
it's the Green Lantern, yes, but it's not. I feel like I'm wondering if they're going to explain, because I don't know how many just casual fans understand that Alan Scott was not a Green Lantern like Hal Jordan or John Stewart or Kyle Rayner, like, and it like he was not part of the Green Lantern Corps. His lantern had nothing to do with, like, intergalactic power batteries and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if they're going to explain that, or if they're just going to be like, oh, he was the Green Lantern, like, and leave it at that. So I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. So
Yeah. Same.
yeah, very cool, very cool. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like we said quite a bit about this episode as well. So
Yeah.
something, but yeah, no, Stargirl season 2, Summer School chapter 1. I I really really enjoyed it. So there it is. Yeah, if you're watching it, let us know what you think of it, and what your thoughts are. All right, let's talk about Marvel's What If animated series. This was, like I said, I'm very much a fan of, like, the what if idea, whether it's DC doing their Elseworld stories or Marvel doing the what if. Swag, I'm a huge fan of, like, the multiverse and multiverse storytelling.
Yeah.
Favorite things about, like, comic books and even sci-fi in general. So yeah, obviously I was going to be checking out this show. Very excited to see what they do. I will say this: Cliff and I had wildly different opinions about the show. I will read this from Cliff's thoughts right away. He said, "Love the intro with the Watcher." Swag, the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you know what the multiverse is. Just get to the show already. You don't have to give me a crash course on the multiverse. I'm already here for it. Let's go. So
Yeah.
I understand it's not there for me. It's there for people who might not understand the concept. But again, like me being a hardcore fan, it's like, yeah, I already know this stuff. Like, hurry up, get to the story. I want to find out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't need the intro. But Cliff really liked it, and that's cool. But yeah, aside from that, and maybe one or two, like, minor gripes, I thought this episode was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing the events of essentially Captain America, the first Avenger, but a simple one choice kind of alters the history just completely. And that is, that essentially is what these stories are. Basically the entire foundation of the multiverse, how one decision can create an entire different world and a completely different history. So I thought that was great that they summed it up that simply for people who might not understand what this is or how it works. But it really is just that. Like, with each decision, with every choice you make, you are creating a world. You're creating two worlds, one where you made the choice, one where you didn't. And that's the basic principle of the multiverse. So I thought, with this episode, they really nailed that aspect of it. And also, it was just great to see everyone again. Like, even though it's an animated thing, I love seeing Peggy again. I love seeing young Howard Stark, which I feel like we didn't get enough of, unfortunately. And Cliff and I think you also agree, the voice cast for this was phenomenal.
Yes.
Yeah, he said, I really believed that was Chris Evans as Steve. Well played, Josh Keaton. Ross being back as Red Skull is so fly. I love the voice cast for this. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I agree with all that. I knew it wasn't Chris Evans. Like, you and I talked about this a little bit already. It's like, I knew, but I didn't know who it was. But even watching it, I was like, all right, I know that's not Evans, but whoever this is doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Almost fooling me. So yeah, it is Josh Keaton. I did look it up, and he's a very well-known voice actor, very talented. And so yeah, he apparently was so overwhelmed with all the fans who were basically echoing the same sentiment, and he was like, "Wow, I don't think I've ever received this much praise in like." So that's pretty cool. And again, like Ross Marquand back as the Red Skull. If you don't know, so Hugo Weaving very famously portrayed Johann Schmidt, aka the Red Skull, in Captain America: The First Avenger. He did not return for Avengers Infinity War or Endgame. He was replaced by Ross Marquand. But Ross does such a great, I don't want to say impression or an imitation, but he's so good at being that even in Infinity War, I was like, oh, like if I hadn't known ahead of time, I probably wouldn't have known that it wasn't Hugo Weaving, and he can do that even here. He's basically playing the same scene, almost the same scenes that Hugo Weaving did in the first Avenger, and he does it so well that there were times where I was like, I mean, this might have been they might have just pulled the audio from the movie. They didn't, but would have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really liked the cast, the voice cast. Like, even Haley Atwell obviously came back to play Peggy Carter, and that was Sebastian Stan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, no, I thought this was a great first episode. Again, I had like a few tiny little nitpicks, but they're so tiny, I'm not even gonna bring them up. All right, so I really I thought the animation was really good, and yeah, I liked it. Swag, what about you?
Yeah. No, I definitely liked it. Because again, it's like seeing these characters again, and like, yeah, it's in a different situation, but like it was cool and it was fun and I liked it and I enjoyed it. So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I agree. What would you rate this episode?
Probably 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 9. It's solid. It's a great
Yeah.
fun. See what happens in the next episode. Yeah, let's give it a 9.25 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching Marvel's What If, let us know what you thought of this episode and if you're excited to see what you'll know in the moment. All right, Swag. Now we really got to strap in. Ladies and gentlemen, Titans has returned for season 3. And it's appropriate that for season 3 they dropped the first 3 episodes of the show on us. So let's talk about it, man. We got the episode, season 3, episode 1, Barbara Gordon. This was, oh man, there was a lot going on in this stuff, but I'm like really trying to like my thoughts. First of all, I was surprised at how quickly they killed David.
Yeah.
And again, not that we didn't know it was going to happen; it was in all the trailers. But I don't know. I kind of expected them to give us a whole episode with him, and then the cliffhanger be him dying.
Yeah.
They were like, "Nah, he's going to die in the first 5 minutes of the."
Yep.
And he does. And you know what? Hats off to them for doing it. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. I will say I did think it was a little weird that the Joker didn't say anything. And again, like, I was expecting us to see him, like, full frontal, like, spouting, reciting Shakespeare or whatever. But the fact that all he did was laugh, and it was like a looped laugh. Like, you could tell they only two laughs and then looped it over the whole thing. That felt a little weird to me, but I mean, it's whatever. Yeah, I thought that was great. I thought the reintroduction to the Titans was great. There was that great moment where Nightwing, he does what did he do, Swag? I remember telling you, I was like, that's the most Dick Grayson thing I've ever seen.
Oh right, he puts one of them the Screamer sticks away.
Puts the one away, and he's like, all right. Yeah, and I was like,
now, right?
that was so Dick Grayson. I was like, did the show get new writers or something? Because this feels like a different show.
Yeah.
Just the best way possible. Because, yeah, that reintroduction to the team, it honestly felt like I was looking at the comic book characters, but just in live action.
Yeah, live.
It was great. I thought that scene was great. And also, like, before I even forget, like, the fact that it was Gizmo that they were taking down. A classic. Well, he's a classic cyborg villain, but he is also kind of established as a Teen Titans villain, mainly because of the animated series. But yeah, I thought that was cool. That was really cool. I was a little upset that we didn't get to see him use his
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call it because it's not a jetpack, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed we didn't get to see him use that, but hey, just seeing him in live action was pretty cool. What do you think of this episode, man? What were some of your favorite moments?
Oh yeah, like definitely like the reintroduction to the team. Just that was so cool. Like, and again, like just giving us more of that suit just in action finally. It's like we waited all season last season and we only got it for a little while. And like they wasted no time. Like the first thing we see with Dick was him taking out bad guys in the suit. It was so awesome.
Yeah, I agree. That was great.
And like again, like now that like we get to like actually like see it like more and just appreciate it on screen, like not even just like in the first episode, but like across all 3 of these, like I want an action figure of that version of the character. Like I want that on my shelf. Like it's so cool. Like now that we can appreciate the suit, like it looks so good.
Yeah, the whole time I was watching all 3 of these episodes, I was like, man, McFarlane should definitely make that.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody, like I want a Nightwing figure, I want a Starfire figure, I want a Superboy, a Beast Boy, like everybody. Hawk and Dove, I want those. Yeah, I think, and also a Red Hood figure.
Yeah, because that was
This version of Red Hood would look really cool as an action figure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think that's another thing I want to give credit for. Like costume design was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And like, like we already saw the Red Hood suit, but like seeing it in the show with like all the proper lighting and everything, like it looked amazing. Like the way like the
Oh yeah.
the paint on the helmet, like, and like the light shining on it, like it looked really good.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's funny. We're talking about the Red Hood, and he hasn't
He
even.
didn't even show up in the first
But
episode. Yeah.
the thing about it is, I do want to say before I forget, is I remember when the images came out and people were looking at it and was like, oh, the helmet looks weird. It doesn't look right. Blah blah blah. Cosplayers do better Red Hoods. And I was like, guys, you're looking at static images. Like this thing is meant to be seen in motion. Like
Yeah.
you're seeing it at certain angles under certain lighting. It's going to look a certain way when you see it presented properly. And
Yeah.
in the episodes now, it's like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like, not that. Like you can't judge this stuff on images.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually really really liked I also just really love, because like even on the jaw or whatever, you can see like the gears or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like when he takes it off, it does kind of like fold up and everything. That's
Yeah.
very 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 detailed design work went into that helmet. So I appreciate it. Very cool. Yeah, think about Barbara Gordon. I mean the
Yeah,
episode.
I was gonna say like the first, yeah, getting back to the first episode, like I liked like seeing, because it's like, we already know the story
Mhm.
of the Red Hood. We know how that works, how that goes. But like they also, like, I like how they used that story to kind of dive deeper into like the characters of the Bat family and their way, each of their ways of like dealing with a loss like this, and like even like just getting more history of these versions of the characters, like, like we find out about what happened to Jim. We find out what happened to Alfred, which was a freaking bombshell to us.
Yeah, because you
Like,
remember,
Alfred's dead.
yeah, when Dick first showed up to Wayne Manor and he's like, Bruce, Bruce, and I was like, where's Alfred?
Yeah.
Found out he's dead, and I was like, oh man. And like the worst,
Yeah.
when you saw his gravestone and it said he died in 2020, I was like, yeah, 2020 really took everything from us. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so upset. Like I was like, man, screw you, 2020. You're still taking things from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
2020 killed Alfred.
2020 killed Alfred. That's how bad 2020 was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Alfred.
That was pretty hard. Yeah, that was hard for me to deal with.
Yeah. But also, like, getting into like the whole thing with like them trying to,
Process grief.
yeah, and like even trying to get Bruce to kind of talk
Yeah.
and like open up about it. Like it shows like they care. They care about him. They care about each other.
No, yeah, definitely, definitely. But it's funny because I'm glad you brought that up, because otherwise I would have forgot to even address this. But so people who have been longtime listeners of the show will probably remember that Cliff and I interviewed Aaron Schoenke from Bat in the Sun. And, he has a very specific interpretation of Bruce Wayne and Batman. And, I'm not like Cliff, who listens to everything someone says and says, this is right, this is correct. Whenever I hear Aaron talk about Batman and Bruce Wayne specifically, I'm like, dude, that's your interpretation, and it's not everybody else's fault that certain people don't interpret the character the way you do. That's on you. However, watching and this version of Bruce Wayne and Batman, or Bruce Wayne anyways,
Yeah.
I feel like Aaron should maybe watch this episode because with what he thinks Bruce Wayne is like. You know, like that idea that he's kind of stunted in his growth because of the trauma he suffered as a child, and that he himself is kind of still a child emotionally, or even I guess emotionally, because he in the episode, you know, when Dick finds out that Bruce was already looking to recruit a new Robin, there's that moment where he kind of looks at Dick and is like, "Do you want to be Robin again?" It was like a child,
Yeah.
out to be like, "Will you be my friend again?" Like, it was honestly kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Messed me up watching that. But like I said, I was watching this interpretation of Bruce Wayne, and I was like, I think Aaron should maybe give this show a chance. Like, he might actually like this, because this is more in line with what he thinks Bruce Wayne is supposed to be. And again, yes, I interpret the character a certain way, like having read the comic books and grown up with the character, but I also understand that it's something that there's more than one interpretation of, so I never get locked in with, this isn't the way I interpret Batman, therefore it's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I wouldn't like what they did with Bruce Wayne on this show if I were like that. I'd be like, this is terrible. I don't like this. This is not how Bruce Wayne should be. So therefore, this is a terrible interpretation. This is I'm not like that, you know? Again, this is not my interpretation of Bruce Wayne at all. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy the show. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy this interpretation, you know? Because I can look at it as like, oh, this is clearly how they're doing it. They're not saying this is definitively Bruce Wayne. This is just what they're just with, because it suits the story they're telling. So I'm sorry. I just needed to get that out.
Yeah. No, that's fine. And that's great. Like, I think that's the best part about this kind of thing.
For sure. And that's what I love about live action and even animated adaptations of comic books. The great thing about it, like, look, we all pretty much agree George Clooney was not a good Batman. That Batman and Robin is not a good Batman movie. But that being said, I'm glad it exists, because that's just another interpretation that's out there, you know? And granted, not many people like it, but I guarantee you there's one person, at least statistically in the world, who does like it. And, you know, good for you that you get to enjoy that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, characters, and especially Titans, because, like, believe me, there's a lot of stuff that happens on the show in season 1 and season 2 that, if I were one of those people who's so stuck in, well, it's not the way I would have done it, so this sucks, you know? But I can open myself up to, this is a different story. This is a different interpretation. This is the story they're presenting us with. Is it 100% comic book accurate? No. That doesn't mean this is terrible, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, I'm just trying to put it out there that it's okay for there to be more than one interpretation of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm about to go on. Look, I realize I'm ranting right now.
That's fine.
Get this one last part out before it's like when people crap on what Zack Snyder did with the DC characters. And I mean, obviously I love Zack Snyder, but here's what I'm trying to say. I like what he did with those characters and that world. Is it 100% comic book accurate? No. If you would have asked me, if you were Warner Bros. And you came to me and said, hey, how would you adapt the DC universe into a live action, interconnected, shared universe? I would not have done what Zack Snyder did at all. Like,
yeah.
is that what I would have done? No, not at all. But again, that doesn't mean I hated what he did. I loved what he did. Y'all know this.
Yep.
Look at my shelf right here. Like, I loved what he did. Probably because it's the exact opposite of what I would have done. So I'm just saying, you have to be open to different interpretations. Again, you don't have to like it, but not liking it or hating it just because, oh, it's not what I would have done. It's not what I wanted. That's stupid. All right, that's all I'm saying. So, anyway, back to Titans. What else do you like about this episode, Sweat?
Oh man.
Sorry, like I said, I just kind of went on a little rant. This show does stuff like that to me. Again, I like the show, but it does you think about things in a way I didn't expect to think about them. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah. No, yeah, like again, and like back to the show, like I think one of the things I did like was Barbara.
Yeah.
Because seeing where she's at now, especially in this universe, it's like she's been Batgirl. She's done all this stuff already, and now it's that thing where she's lost her father, and now she's taking his job, and she's doing that now, and kind of seeing how how she feels about that, and how she's going about it, what she thinks about it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, same. I loved it. And the actress Savannah Wells, phenomenal. Like she's killing it. I was on board after just the one episode.
Yeah.
But because she's in all three of these.
Yeah.
Or was she in the third one?
I
don't think
yes, but like briefly, I'm pretty sure.
You are correct. So yeah, like having seen her in all of these, it's just like, yeah, man. Again, like I was like, I feel like you picked the wrong Savannah for this, but no, like, right, for sure. No offense, Savannah. Still think, but I really enjoyed what she was doing, and like I said, they did work in the her amputee status in the show. Which, wow, like I have so many questions about what actually happened to her now. I mean,
yeah,
I know what happened to Savannah Welch, but I have questions about what happened to Barbara Gordon, and I guarantee you we'll get some answers. But yeah, man, I really like what she's doing, and yeah, the history that's there, whether it's implied or even directly acknowledged in the show, it's great, man, because it really does help build the world and help you connect with the characters. Because again, like this is a character who's only now making her appearance on the show, and this is the third season of the show. But the fact that they can throw you some lines, right, and have her and Dick interact with each other the way that they do, and you feel the weight of that history between them.
Yeah.
Great. It's great. I love it. I like it. I like it a lot. Cliff had this to say about episode 1, Barbara Gordon. He said, hell of a way to start the show. Poor Jason. All caps. Jason is buried next to Alfred. Damn. Donna is still dead. SMHD. Or SM. Sorry. Love they are sharing stories about Jason. Yeah, that was a great scene. Going out like a frozen G. He did. Which, yeah, he apparently died because of Mr. Freeze, which is... At least give me I need to see that. Come on.
Yeah.
The episode went by like a blur, but I enjoyed it. 9 out of 10. So he gave that one a solid 9.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think I would probably rate this 9.5. I really thought this was a great season opener.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, 9. Yeah, 9.5 for me.
All right, cool. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Season 3, episode 1, Barbara Gordon. Let's move on to episode 2, titled Red Hood. Now, I'm gonna put this up at the top. This episode for me was a 10 out of 10 because this did everything. Like, so good. I thought Red Hood's entrance in this was awesome, and you guys know I do not care for Red Hood at all, but that was a dope entrance.
Yup.
Yeah, it was great to see the return of Hawk and Cliff said Red Hood entrance was fly AF. They broke up. It's so awkward. He did comment on Hank's mustache, which I think Swag has thoughts on that mustache.
Yeah.
I will say this. He did put at the end of his thoughts, said, "Oh shit, Jason isn't dead. Didn't see that coming." Which I will say that I did say to Swag, I was like, I'm glad they didn't drag that out over the whole season, because it's like, yeah, we all know who's under that helmet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like we all know it's Jason. We all know it's like, just get that out of the way as soon as possible, and you'll be better off for it. And I'm glad that they did. You know, like they did kind of string it out for this episode, and then they did the reveal for Dick at least at the end of the episode. So I really enjoyed that. This episode was great. This episode was great for like so many reasons. Like there was, like, chief among them for me anyways, like there was the moment where Red Hood and Nightwing are fighting each other, and I was just like, man, I'm actually watching this in live action right now. Like, what a time to be alive. This is awesome. But you'll remember, I had a similar reaction in season 2 when we saw, it was the big flashback episode in season 2, and we got to see Robin fighting Deathstroke. And I was, man, 10-year-old me is like just on cloud 9 right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's so great. I think chief among any other reason, I think that's why I love this show so much. Like, even when it wasn't so great, like maybe in season 1 where it was kind of 50-50, it's just the fact that it presents to me certain things that I didn't think I would ever see in live action, and then here it is. You know what I mean? So it's just like, oh, that is fantastic. So, yeah. I really like this episode. Swag, what about you?
Yeah. No, yeah, like again, like it was really good. Again, like, you know, like it did everything. Like we saw like all these cool things in live action that we, you know, dreamed of seeing. And like they did it right. Like it all flowed together, it meshed together, like it was so good. And like, yeah, like the scene, the entrance, for Red Hood, like the whole mobster thing, like, you know, like we've seen that in animated, like we've seen that, but like seeing it live was cool, and then also mixing it up with him like coming down on the rope, like shooting guys, like that was cool.
That was the dopest part for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I want to give credit. Like I don't think it, but if it is, like props. Like if it's Curran underneath that helmet, like, you know, holding the weapons, like seeing like Red Hood with the weapons, like in those formations, like perfect. Like it looked really good, really intimidating. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if it is him. I would assume it is, because he's, you know, he's been posting so many pictures on his Instagram of like, you know, like taking the helmet off after a long day of shooting, or putting it on right before he's going to go shoot. And I know he did a lot of weapons training, so I'm inclined to say it's him. But again, I don't for sure. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like that, I give a lot of credit to him. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who we're talking about, Corinne Walters, the actor who plays Jason Todd on the show, and now Red Hood. Yeah, I give him a lot of credit because he is genuinely really talented, and I didn't want to admit as much because he's such a good-looking guy. You can't be good-looking and talented, man. That's too much. But he is a really talented dude, and yeah, for him to put in that amount of work to play a character who is essentially, he's got his entire face obscured, while bravo, man, bravo. Because it would be so easy for him to just be like, nah, I'm gonna let my stunt double do it, whatever. But he
Yeah.
genuinely enjoys play. Like he was so excited when he found out they were doing Red Hood. Like he was so excited. Like you remember I told you. So ladies and gentlemen, we've mentioned it on the show quite a bit. I'm a big customer for an online retailer called Luca Jackets, Luca Designs. You can look them up. I have so many of their products, but Curran Walters actually modeled their Red Hood jacket for them. Like that's how much of a fan he is. He owns one of their Red Hood jackets. He modeled for them on their website. You can go and check it out right now. But yeah, so like he bought that jacket back in season 1 when he was cast because he knew, obviously he knew that's where he was going to go, right? Or at least he was hoping to go. Yeah, no, I love that. I love when the people they cast for these roles are genuinely fans and they genuinely want to do the work. It reminds me of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. The fact that he got so in shape for the role, they actually had to take muscle padding out of the suit. Like I love those stories. I love stories like that, or like I can think of so many right now, but I'm gonna get off the topic here. So, but yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Curran Walters is doing a great job as Jason Hood, as the Red Hood, and yeah, especially in episode 3, which we'll talk about in a minute, because he does some serious acting in that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. This episode, yeah, man, that scene with all the mob bosses and the heads in the bag, like that was. Because I remember as soon as we saw all of them meeting there, I was like, "Oh, okay, we're doing this already.
Yeah.
Cool, let's do it." So yeah, that not disappoint me in the slightest. That was a great scene because yeah, it's that thing where it's from the comics. That happened in the comics. If you've seen the animated movie a billion times, like me and Swag have,
Yeah.
it's with like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see it in animation, but now to see it in live action is dope. The other thing I love that I want to talk about, you kind of touched on it when we were talking about the first episode, but it's great they took a story, under the Red Hood, which is a story like everybody and their mother, at least at this point, we know all the beats, right? Jason Todd dies, resurrected by Ra's al Ghul in the Lazarus Pit, comes back to life. He becomes the vigilante, the Red Hood. Him and Batman have, like, we all know what happens, right? I like that this show took that story, a story we're all familiar with, but they managed to tell a new story while still telling the story we're all familiar with. I like that they did that. That's really cool. And it's really hard to do that. So I don't know if it's the same writers from season 1 and 2. If it is, bravo, well done. If they are new writers, again, I don't know if they are. If they are new writers, bravo, well done. Because again, it's not easy to do that.
Yeah.
And at least so far they've done it successfully. So yeah, I wanted to give them some props before I forget. Swag, can we talk about Hank's mustache real quick?
Yes.
Now, on a scale of Tom Selleck to Freddie Mercury, where would you rate Hank's mustache?
Oh man.
Also, before I forget, I want to give Alan Richson a shout out because he now gets to join a very exclusive club of DC mustaches.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what'd you think of that, man? That was funny.
Yeah. Like I remember too, like it's like we find like, he's doing a cop thing now. And like I saw the mustache and I was like, oh nice, good to see you're putting the full 100% into this job.
Oh yeah. That's good job right there.
Oh, man, that was great. Oh man.
That was great. It was kind of disappointing when he shaved it off.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see the mustache.
In the suit. Yeah.
But he showed up to the manor clean shaven, and I was like, "Aw." Yeah, that was great. That was good.
I
Yeah,
love the thing about the bike shorts. That
yeah.
was funny.
What did he call them? Oh, pursuit attack shorts or
Oh
something.
yeah. So
That was
yeah, like attack and pursuit shorts, mother.
yeah, that was great. Oh, I need to get that on a shirt.
Yeah.
His face with the mustache on.
Mustache.
Yeah, that was great. So yeah, I think what you and I agreed this was a 10 out of 10, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Cliff, I think I already read most of his thoughts. He gave it a 9.25 out of 10. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's get episode 3, Hank and Dove. Cliff had quite a few things here, but apologies, Cliff. I'm going to skip to what I think is the most important one. Cliff said, that ending, though, 10 out of 10. I agree. This episode was also a 10 out of 10. And the ending, much like the ending to this week's episode of Superman and Lois, yeah, I don't know why I expected one of these, like the climax to this week of television, to leave me in a better place than where this
Where we
week
started.
What was I wrong? Because the ending of this episode also, like, Superman and Lois ripped my heart out. This episode reached in and grabbed whatever was left and pulled.
It pulled it out, stomped on it in like several different places.
Man, I was just, and you'll remember I was upset. Where they're leaving us. I gotta wait a whole nother week to find out. Like, yeah. But let's talk about it, man. This episode, like, look, man, I'm glad Alan Richardson got as many episodes as he did to show off his, because he got to go a lot of places
Yeah.
in his episodes this season, especially here in this episode. I loved like I loved the comedy between him and Dawn. Like, after he already has the like, you know, he's like, I'm gonna go meet Alfred, you know.
In heaven, yeah. What I
Oh.
Yeah.
He's like, no. It's like, you think I'm gonna go to hell? Like that. Like, he's using his humor, you know, to try and diffuse the situation. It was just so funny.
Yeah.
And Alan is such a great actor. Again, I feel like he's one of those performers who, he's such a good-looking dude that I feel like most people tend to overlook just how talented he is. And again, like, I know how talented he is. I've been following his career for, 16 years now, something like that. And aside from just being an actor, he's also a very talented singer. I feel like most people who watch this show know, like, he sang in season 2. He also danced in season 2. But yeah, I'm glad he got a chance to show off a lot of his talents, especially this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we even get into that, man, like, what were some of your favorite moments of this episode?
Oh man. Yeah, like I think it's hard to even like narrow it down, like just the whole episode, because it just felt like it was one continuous thing.
It
Like
did, yeah.
I can't really break it up because it was just like a whole struggle of like we need to figure this out. We need to stop this from happening.
Yeah.
I guess like
It was
the
really paced.
yeah,
Now that you mention it, yeah.
yeah, and like I think like I guess like one of the things that I liked most was like Dick really trying his best to not play Jason's games and like try to find another way. And again, like, it's that thing where when you get to the end, like, he was right. Like, there was another way.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, things played out the way that they did, that, it ended the way that it did. And also, like, Dawn and Hank, I think, like, their scenes together were my favorite part.
Yeah, that was really I even since season 1, like a lot of my favorite stuff on the show has been the stuff between Hank and Dawn or Hawk and Dove.
Yeah.
Those episodes from season 1 were like my favorite ones. Like specific, there's their introductory episode, Hawk and Dove, and then their big flashback episode, Hank and Dawn. I really love those 2 episodes in season 1, and I remember I wasn't the only one who was like trying to get DC to do a whole Hawk and Dove show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those are 2 of my favorite characters on the show. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly, it's because like Alan and Minka have such great chemistry, and they both play those characters so well that it's just you're just immediately drawn into whatever it is that's going on with the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also like some of my favorite stuff from this episode as well. Also, so I alluded to it briefly when we were talking about Curran Walters. This episode specifically, because remember, everything happens because Jason calls Hank.
Yep.
He's like crying on the phone. He's like, "Oh, I messed up, man. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it." And like, Curran Walters is such a good actor that I kind of believed him for a moment there.
Yeah, same.
I was like, "Oh, is there something else going on here that I'm not aware of?" Like,
Yeah.
because I started like trying to. Like maybe that drug he took did something to his mind, and maybe he's not in control. Like so I was legitimately, I bought what he was selling.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like he gave a great performance in this episode because he went from being like, like he's crying and he's like begging Hank, like, I need help, and then at the end of the episode, like we were saying, like he switches and he's just an evil dick.
Yeah.
He does it so well that I tweeted after I watched the episode. I was like, well, I hate Jason Todd again. Congratulations, Titans. You successfully made me care for a character I hated, and now have made me hate him again. So, because like I said this when we were talking about season 2, it's like I hated Jason Todd as a character from the comic book. I hate Jason Todd. I hate Red Hood. But the show, especially in season 2, made me care about that character in a way I was not expecting to.
Yeah.
And now for them to successfully make me 180 on the character again, good job. So
yeah, bravo.
Yeah. Also, before we forget, dude, we didn't even mention Jonathan Crane.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah,
like the way that they're doing the character, like it's so great.
Very, yeah. Dude, huge shout out to Vincent Kartheiser, who's playing Jonathan Crane, because his performance. Look, we talked about it back when he was announced, and Cliff and I obviously very familiar with his body of work, him having been a child actor, but also having grown into a very respected adult actor. I had no doubt in my mind he was going to kill it, but his one introductory scene alone knocked it out of the ballpark. So much so that every time they go back to him, I'm like, all right, let's see what he's going to do this.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, man. Go ahead. What do you think of it, man?
Oh, yeah, I loved it. Because it's that thing where it's like, like, you get, like, that like, when you meet him, it's like what are they, what's going on, what are they doing? Because, like, they mentioned pretty much basically weed. And then he just breaks it down. It's like, no, it just helps me. Like, it slows my brain. Like, it helps me think and piece these things together. But, like, he's still kind of, like like, yeah, you see him be like this menacing villain that we all know, but like he still has these moments of like being an absolute like chill dude at times,
Yeah.
which I think is great.
No, yeah, believe me, I was not expecting this take on that
Yeah,
character. But like it works, right? Like
yeah,
it doesn't feel out of place. Like it definitely feels new. Like this
yeah,
clear the version of the character we're all familiar with, but it works.
yeah,
Weird, you know?
yeah. It's like
But
it
yeah,
is that thing, right, where it's like the unexpected partner, like in discover and like figuring out the crime, like between him and Dick.
yeah, yeah, and that was great. Cliff also he called out how Crane, he called it the what was it? The birds out
Birds
maneuver.
opening, I think.
Yeah, birds open. Birds open.
Yeah,
Cliff was great. Yeah, and I was like, yeah. And again, like, man, yeah, but also it was weird for me to see Vincent like with the beard and the long hair. 'Cause, like, I'm so used to him. Again, I remember him when he was a kid doing movies, and like, don't get me wrong, the one movie I remember him most from, he had long hair, but certainly didn't have a beard. But but yeah, it's just interesting. Like I think like his physical appearance plus his performance, it really captivated me now, like in the
yeah,
best. So yeah, I'm glad I'm glad he has joined the cast this season because I feel like everybody who joined this season is doing great, is
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah. So
Oh, and yeah, like speaking of like and like talking about like solving the crime, like that was one thing I wanted to say that I was trying to hold on to, and I almost forgot to even mention it. So thankfully I remembered. But like the whole detective stuff, all that
yeah,
they've been doing, like I love that. Like seeing that in live action and like watching them piece these puzzles together, and even work as a team to figure it out too was great.
yeah,
And I love that. So yeah, I hope we get to see more of that throughout the season.
yeah. Because I loved that moment. I don't remember if it was between Nightwing and Red Hood or if it was between Dick and Jason. Yes, there is a difference. But he says like he says something about, oh, you finally figured it out. It's like, I didn't figure it out, my team did. I like that moment, because it's
Yeah,
like you were saying, like, yeah, I like that they're actually working as a team, even if they're not all in the field together. Like Cliff talked about how he felt that Gar and Connor weren't really doing anything, but it's like, well, they weren't really in the field, but they're kind of at least Gar, anyways, is kind of the tech guy, but he's been that since season one, you
yeah,
know. Connor, yeah, I feel like he should probably be in the field more, but
yeah,
I did like how he was, Dick was like, he asked him to build the diffuser, and
yeah,
so he was like his speed to keep testing out the different uh, permutations. I liked that because, like, obviously, like who else could do it as fast or fast? I mean, I guess Wally, but who knows if he even exists in this
yeah,
on this earth? So why not Connor? But yeah, no, I feel like, yeah, at times it feels like certain characters are kind of sidelined, but then they get to do really important stuff too, like like Gar figuring out the chess, all what it all meant and everything, and Connor like putting together the different, trying to figure out the diffuser. I like those moments, man. I think that stuff is great. So yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, I think this episode is a 10 out of 10. Cliff gave it a 9.25 out of 10. Oh no. Cliff gave this one a 10 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you glided past it, but like it's a rare thing for Cliff to give a 10 out of 10.
So yeah, man, Titans. He did not give me an overall score, but just having seen the first 3 episodes so far, how would you rate the season so far?
So far, oh man, that's a tough one. I don't know. Like, I want to say 10 out of 10 because it's that thing where like I'm so hooked, like I want to see more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, screw it. 10 out of 10 so far.
Hey man, I was gonna say 10 out of 10 anyways.
Yeah, I was like, it's good. It's really good so far. Like I can't.
Yeah, man, it's just real good, and I can't. Like I said, my only gripe is that I have to wait a whole week now to get.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's TV time. Let us know if you're watching Titans. Let us know what you thought of the first 3 episodes. If you're watching any of these shows, let us know what you're thinking. And yeah, so that's gonna do it for us this week, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of TV, like I said. So I hope you strapped in. Hope you were well. Swag, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys come over to YouTube, Mr. Swagtastic. Yeah, I'm trying to do some stuff. I've got a lot of things in the pipeline, but just haven't really had the time to sit down and edit it. But yeah, there should be a lot of stuff coming. So, and again, if there isn't anything coming out new, there's plenty of stuff in the past that you can check out. Like I've said before, there's tons of playlists for tons of games. Yeah, so come hang out. It's a good time.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what to do. Go check out Mr. Swagtastic on YouTube. I am, of course. Oh, well, actually, before don't forget Cliff Miller. Swag, throw up his link tree right now.
There we go.
You can go follow him, subscribe, show him all the love. Cliff, we never forget about you when you're not here. So. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, Antonio Padilla. You can find me on all social media. It's either at Tron Pilgrim or at Tron Pilgrim 87. You don't know which one is me. You can like Nerds of the Roundtable on Facebook, facebook.com/Real Nerds of the Roundtable. You can follow us on Twitter at RealNerds_. And if you're watching us, that means you're watching us on YouTube. And if at any point during the video you enjoyed our content, please give us a like rating. It helps us out a lot. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that bell notification icon so that you'll be notified every time these videos go live. You'll never miss an episode of Nerds of the Roundtable. If you're listening to us, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to us on anchor.fm/nerds, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, everywhere podcasts are available. And I think that's everything, right, Swag?
Yes.
I don't want to forget something. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the show for you this week. Join us next time. Same nerd time, same nerd channel. Swag, you know what to do.
Hit it. The legs.